Hello, Cinemaster lovers. Welcome back. I hope you're ready for an exciting experience because we've got something special for you today. Get comfortable, grab your snacks, and let's dive right into the action. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get started. Our film begins in Los Angeles on a very hot summer day. Everyone goes to work and the day starts off very normally. In a part of the city, a group of protesters appear, objecting to the closure of the metro line known as the Red Line because there aren't enough transportation options to get them to work, and public transport is more expensive than the metro. One of the officials tries to convince them that it's very dangerous, and they can't open it until its safety is confirmed. Elsewhere, Mike, the city's emergency management director, is seen preparing breakfast for his daughter, who lives with him after his separation from her mother. They are getting ready for a camping trip, but suddenly, a strong earthquake surprises everyone. It lasts for a short time, and there are no casualties. At the city hospital, Dr. Kayla is shown trying to help her patient after the earthquake, managing to save him. Back to Mike, who decides to go to work after the earthquake, canceling the vacation, which upsets Kayla. She gets angry with him, but Mike doesn't care and calls the babysitter to stay with his daughter while he goes to work. In another place, the team responsible for the subway ensures that all lines are operational and there are no damages. They start betting on the earthquake's epicenter, each naming a country where they think it occurred. Back to Mike arriving at work. He sees in the surveillance cameras pipes bursting. He quickly asks his team what's happening, and they tell him there's been a gas and water pipe explosion. He asks them to reassure him because he's sending a team there. However, Mike insists on going himself to see the problem's cause. At the site of the pipe explosion, the team's leader waits for his team to exit the tunnel, but is surprised by the screams of one of them trying to get out with half of his body burnt, while the rest of the team dies. Mike arrives and asks the team leader what happened. He tells him that the team entered an underground steam cavity, which caused their deaths, but there was no fire, explosions, or threats of any kind. Mike examines the bodies and suspects the burns were caused by steam, deciding to go down himself, but the team leader refuses, saying there's nothing down there but steam. Later, the subway security official arrives, and Mike shows him the subway plan, identifying the explosion site in an area where the red line passes. He asks him to stop the line and seal the area until they discover the explosion's cause, but the official refuses, saying the tunnel wall is over 5 meters of concrete, meaning there's no risk to the train. He asks him to relax and let everyone take responsibility for their work. Mike calls Debbie, another team member, and decides to go down the tunnel himself to see what happened. At the hospital, the only survivor from the explosion arrives, and Dr. Kayla takes over, telling her colleague that the burns weren't caused by steam. Her colleague asks if she means methane gas, but Kayla says that's not the cause and she's unsure what could be. Returning to Mike, he goes down the tunnel with a worker, trying to see where the workers' bodies were, and is surprised by steam coming from a hole in the tunnel's concrete with a very high temperature. He detects a high-energy signal in the tunnel. Suddenly, the tunnel shakes more due to a passing train, and a hole in the ground appears, emitting yellow steam resembling fire, increasing the steam and temperature. Mike and his friend quickly exit, closing the door behind them at the last moment, and they both leave the tunnel. Mike asks Debbie to contact the New York police to evacuate the entire area quickly, and also asks to shut off all gas, water, and electricity lines because there's a gas leak and a fire spark, without understanding the exact problem. A biologist is needed to confirm what's happening. Biologist Emily arrives, trying to analyze the situation. Mike tells her the lake's temperature in the tunnel area rose 6 degrees in 12 hours. Mike says it's hot, so that's expected, but Emily tells him there must be a geological event underground to heat more than 1 million gallons of water by 6 degrees in 12 hours. Mike asks about the possible geological event causing this, and Emily explains that their continent sits on a sea of molten rock for millions of years, and sometimes cracks occur due to various factors, allowing volcanic magma to find its way through these cracks. Mike is shocked upon hearing volcanic lava and wonders if it could exist in their city. Emily's friend mentions an incident in a farm in the 90s where smoke was seen seeping from the ground, causing the farm to burn. A week later, a 1,000-meter volcanic explosion occurred, destroying everything. Mike is amused by the news, but Emily reassures him it's just a possibility and nothing is certain. Mike thanks her and leaves, but Emily asks to go down with her friend to verify what's underground. Mike refuses due to the tunnel's danger, but Emily and her friend decide to go down the next morning before anyone wakes up. Emily and her friend go to the tunnel, taking samples of everything they see to identify their origin. The Red Line metro train, the closest to the tunnel, is set in motion. Suddenly, a powerful earthquake shakes all the buildings for a long time, forcing the train to stop quickly before the tunnel collapses. Underground, a gap forms in the tunnel, and Emily's friend falls, but Emily saves her at the last moment, trying to pull her out before she falls. Suddenly, fire emerges from the gap, and Emily's friend suffers from the heat, with the fire rising higher until it explodes, pushing Emily away from the gap with the explosion's force, but her friend dies underground, burned. The entire city's power is cut off due to the earthquake. Mike quickly leaves with his daughter to take her to the emergency building. Suddenly, in the middle of the road, all the manholes explode, releasing steam that causes the temperature to rise rapidly. At the moment Emily exits the tunnel, massive fireballs erupt randomly, destroying cars and buildings, leaving everyone in the street, and the houses are in danger, and we return to the red metro line, where the driver steps out to check on the people. He tries to open the doors, but they are completely locked due to the power outage and the intense air pressure outside the train at that time. Meanwhile, on the same road, Dr. Kayla appears as she heads to the hospital. Suddenly, she notices a large number of fire trucks speeding by. She follows them to assist the injured, but suddenly, a fireball hits the fire trucks, causing them to overturn and block the road. Kayla narrowly avoids the chaos and rushes to help the injured. Mike sees her and quickly gets out of his car to assist her. He learns she is a doctor and helps gather the injured for her. Amid the steam rising everywhere, the sounds of collapsing buildings and explosions, the atmosphere is chaotic. Suddenly, an eerie silence takes over for a few seconds, but it is the calm before the storm. The ground shakes violently, shattering the glass of an entire building. Suddenly, volcanic lava emerges from underground, spreading across the street until it reaches Mike's daughter's car. She rushes out, calling for her father. The car catches fire, and Kelly finds herself trapped between the lava and the flames. Mike jumps in to save her, pulling her onto the car roof just as the lava reaches the car's base and starts consuming it slowly. Mike manages to jump off the car, carrying his daughter, avoiding the fire, but not before her leg gets burned. He quickly takes her to Dr. Kayla, who is transporting the injured in her private car. Kayla examines Kelly and informs Mike that the burn is second degree and requires hospital treatment. Mike refuses, fearing for his daughter. Kayla gives him her hospital ID to reassure him and tells him she understands the emergency situation, which is why she is there. Mike thanks her and bids his daughter farewell, then starts thinking about how to stop the lava before it destroys the entire city and country. A while later, Emily arrives and sees Mike trying to figure things out. Before she approaches him, she notices a fireball heading toward her. Everyone panics and runs in different directions, but Emily stops them and asks them to focus on its trajectory to avoid it. They scatter and manage to dodge it. Emily then goes to Mike, who tells her she was right. He gathers the rescue team, paramedics, police, and everyone present, instructing them to push a bus in front of the lava to slow its flow. Together, they manage to move the bus and then set fire to one side of its tires to tip it toward the lava, creating a strong barrier. Afterward, Mike notices a homeless man sleeping under a tree. He rushes to save him with Emily, who is shocked by his actions. They carry the man together, but as they head back behind the barrier, a burning power line falls, trapping them between the lava and the fire. Mike asks the firefighters to lower their ladder. He places the homeless man on it and climbs up with Emily just in time. They hold on tightly, but the fire catches the ladder. At the last moment, before it collapses from the heat, they are thrown to a safe distance. Meanwhile, on the red metro line, the driver reaches the last car and finds sparks of fire at the tunnel's entrance. He doesn't know what to do next. Back to Emily, she tells Mike they must locate the source of the volcanic eruption to stop it. Otherwise, the lava will continue indefinitely. The lava reaches the bus but doesn't stop there. Mike decides to dig into the ground to divert the lava. Firefighters, police, paramedics, construction workers, and private contractors gather to dig as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, another official from the metro system checks the safety of the red metro line. He and his team enter the train underground and discover that everyone inside is dead from the smoke. He orders his team to check for pulses and finds several people in comas. He searches for the driver and evacuates all the workers from the train. Suddenly, a sea of lava appears underground, and the team leader sacrifices himself by jumping into the lava, throwing the driver to his colleagues, who watch him perish before their eyes. At the hospital, Kelly recovers and sits with two young children to care for them. Her father calls to ensure she is safe. Later, all the city's fire trucks arrive, along with crisis and emergency management teams. However, there are only 40 trucks available. Mike devises a plan to create barriers in front of the lava to redirect it. Emily suggests gathering all the planes and fire trucks to simultaneously spray water and ice on the lava to form a crust and freeze it, similar to what happens in Iceland. Mike agrees and organizes the barriers in a horseshoe shape. Everyone works together to complete the barrier. The lava reaches the barrier, and ambulances prepare for any emergencies. Everyone waits for the planes, which arrive and begin the simultaneous spraying of water and ice on the lava. After 10 minutes, the lava freezes, and the entire city celebrates the achievement, feeling the crisis is over. However, Emily is the only one who knows the volcanic source is still active. She asks Mike to accompany her to locate it. Using the equipment in Emily's car, they trace the source to an underground location. Emily is unsure how to redirect or stop the volcano from beneath the surface. They realize the lava's path is heading toward the hospital, where all the injured, including Mike's daughter, are gathered. Mike is shocked and freezes momentarily, unable to think, until an idea strikes him. He shows Emily and the team a map of the metro tunnels, pointing to the red line where the lava is flowing beneath. He then highlights the end of the line, where a water drain leads to the ocean. He asks everyone to prepare all the explosives they can find, intending to collapse an entire building to redirect the lava toward the ocean instead of the populated area. They have only 20 minutes to execute the plan. Special forces begin planting explosives throughout the building while hospital evacuation efforts are underway. And there, she brings food for the children with her. But when she returns, she finds that her child is not there. She realizes he went out, so she rushes off at the time when explosives are being planted. She keeps searching for the child until she exits the building. Suddenly, she sees everyone who is in the hospital rushing out of it. We go back to Michael, who is preparing all the explosives and getting ready for the detonation. Suddenly, he sees his daughter calling out to him, standing in front of the hospital. He asks those with him to stop the detonation and runs quickly to her. But he doesn't manage to inform the rest of the team, and the entire building explodes. Michael's plan succeeds, and the volcano is directed toward the ocean. It moves through the tunnels that Michael had planned for it to travel through. Emile goes to search for Michael and his daughter in the building's collapse until she finally manages to enter a safety tunnel. The city rejoices at the end of the disaster, which the city worked together to resolve and save millions. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos.